There is a strong synergy between the film industry and the alcoholic beverage industry. Alcohol is present in Hollywood almost like a parasite, subtly pushing product placement to the audience while simultaneously serving as a reward and consolation prize for the stars in this industry, who see it as an escape valve. Of course, this happens with drugs as well, but alcohol is an interesting case because its presence in Hollywood, while destroying the lives of many actors we know, is also fundamental to keep this industry profitable. This creates a vicious cycle where older actors end up starting or becoming partners in beverage companies and earn millions from it, while newcomers to the industry are drowning by consumption and addiction. And for our boy Tom Holland, it was no different. At 26, he found himself addicted to alcohol, struggling with sleep disorders and difficulty managing his emotions and even finding the best choices in his career. But unlike other actors who struggle with alcoholism, Tom had something crucial that kept him from hitting rock bottom and ruining his career. In this video, you will see how Tom Holland fought and overcame his alcohol addiction. I'm Gaby, and you are on Superhero Journal. The legal drinking age in the United Kingdom is 18, but from 16 it's permitted to drink beer, cider, and wine when accompanied by an adult. And in pubs, it's mandatory to have a meal. And since that age of 16, Tom grew accustomed to the London's tradition of going to the pub to drink with family and friends, eating the classic fish and chips, and enjoying nights by the River Thames. Coincidentally, around the same time he reached the age to drink freely, he was cast as Spider-Man, which placed him under a major spotlight, where everything he did in his private life ended up leaking for the world to know. In his early years as Spider-Man, it didn't take long for paparazzi to start literally chasing Tom. Between 2017 and 2019, tabloids and reports often showed Tom drunk at bars and concerts, always with a friend or brother looking out for him to ensure he was okay. At that point, the world saw it as nothing more than a young man enjoying his good life. Even his two bosses, Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal, were aware of his tendency to get carried away with alcohol, jokingly saying that they were keeping an eye on him. But what none of them realized was that alcohol would indeed become a major problem for him. With the pressure of being a major MCU star, Tom saw alcohol as a way to escape, something he could turn to in moments of insecurity. He began the ritual of always drinking before red carpet events and appearances, to loosen up and feel more comfortable in these situations. Not only that, Holland also used alcohol as a reward for career successes, and when things went poorly, it was where he drowned his sorrows. When the first contract between Marvel and Sony over Spider-Man's rights in the MCU ended, Tom got drunk at a bar while playing a quiz game with friends. Suddenly, Bob Iger called him. Believing his time as Spider-Man was over, he drunkenly cried on the phone, only to find out later that they were working out a new deal and he'd continue making movies. This story became a big joke about how Tom Holland saved Spider-Man while being drunk. But it wasn't until years later, after the 2020 pandemic, that Tom started to understand the real issue he was facing. At Christmas 2021, Tom was on vacation with family and friends, enjoying an abundance of food and drinks. By New Year's, he decided to slow things down a bit and go alcohol-free for January. But as simple as it seemed, he found it to be quite a challenge. During January, all he could think about was drinking. According to him, he'd wake up and feel an uncontrollable urge for alcohol. And this scared him because, for the first time in his life, he started to wonder if he might have a dependency. When the month ended and he faced the possibility of drinking with friends again, Tom decided to test his self-control by going alcohol-free through February 2. This was his way of proving to himself that he was fine. And what happened is that this became a rough period in his life. His mood changed, he struggled to sleep, found it hard to socialize, and avoided going out to bars or restaurants, knowing he might relapse or suffer rebound effects. 2 months go by, and Tom Holland decided to stay sober until his birthday on June 1st. This would mean 6 months without drinking. And by the time his birthday arrived and he had completed the challenge, his life was already completely different. He felt better than he ever had before.
By the time I'd done 6 months sober, I really started feeling the benefits. I started sleeping better, I was handling stressful situations better, my relationship was better, my relationship with my family was better. And then by the time I'd crossed that annual mark, I was done. I was like, I'm never going to drink again, because this is the best version of myself.
His family and friends never pressured him to start drinking again and gave strong support for his decision to cut alcohol permanently, which he acknowledges as a key factor in his fight against dependency. Although they continued drinking, Tom found out at work that many actors and directors had gone through the same journey, which brought him even closer to them. And with the realization that many people go through this, Tom decided to invest in a product aimed at helping others transition. Tom Holland created a beer brand. Yeah, I know, but it's a non-alcoholic beer brand with a variety of flavors because, as he says, there's a deep-rooted culture in the UK of cracking open a can or bottle to celebrate meaningful moments with family and friends. But for those wanting to quit drinking while still joining in on life celebrations, there were limited options. And with this idea, B-Roll was born. Tom's brand debuting in 2024 in England and USA markets and pubs. Interestingly, Tom tapped into a highly profitable window in a booming market in his country. In 2023, sales of low-alcohol beer doubled in the UK, pushing the country from 30th to 8th place among the largest nations in this market. In Brazil, where I live, we have a good range of non-alcoholic beers, but in Tom Holland's homeland, 87% of pubs served only one low-alcohol or alcohol-free beer, despite demand for these options having quadrupled since 2019. So, it looks like our Spy Day is set to get even wealthier in the coming years. Tom's future looks promising. At 28, he's in a different stage of life, contributing to creative choices in the next Spider-Man film, preparing for his wedding with Zendaya, and building wealth to soon kick back and enjoy life as a husband and father. Not too shabby if you ask me. Thank you for watching. And make sure to subscribe if you love superhero movies and want to know all about what goes on behind the scenes at Marvel and DC. For example, did you know that Terrence Howard took money out of his own pocket to help Robert becoming Iron Man, only to end up getting backstabbed by Marvel and betrayed by RDJ? That's crazy, right? Just click the video on screen and I'll tell you this story Marvel doesn't want you to know. Take care and I see you soon.